Have you ever asked a question in English and received a confused look? Maybe you said something like, "You coming?" and the other person just wasn't sure what you meant. It's a common experience, but it's one we can fix, fast. The difference between a vague question and a clear one is huge. It's the difference between confusion and connection, between sounding hesitant and speaking with confidence. In the next few minutes, we're going to transform the way you ask questions. We'll move from simple, sometimes unclear phrases to powerful, precise questions that get you the answers you need every single time. Let's start with that first example. Wrong. You coming? This is very informal and grammatically incomplete. It can sound abrupt and might confuse your listener. Better, are you coming? By simply adding the verb are at the beginning, you create a complete, correct question. It's clearer, more polite, and shows your command of English. This small change makes a world of difference. Today we'll learn all the rules behind these small changes, so you can build better questions automatically. Let's dive into the most fundamental type. Yes/no questions. These are questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no. The secret is to start them with the right kind of verb. There are three main groups: the verb to be, the verb to do, and modal verbs. Let's break them down. First, the verb to be. That's am, is, and are for the present, and was or were for the past. You use be to ask about states, identity, or location. Wrong, the report on my desk. Better, is the report on my desk? See? We start with is, because report is singular. Here's another. Wrong, you tired. Better, are you tired? We use are, with the pronoun you. Next up is the verb to do. That's do, does, or did. You use this for actions. Does is for he, she, and it. Did is for the past. Wrong. You want coffee? Better. Do you want coffee? Want is an action, so we need do. How about this one? Wrong. She finish her homework? Better. Did she finish her homework? We use did because we're asking about a completed action in the past. Notice the main verb finish stays in its base form. Finally, we have modal verbs like can, could, will, and would. These are for asking about ability, possibility, or future plans. Wrong. You help me? Better. Can you help me? Can asks about ability. And for a future plan, wrong. You be at the meeting tomorrow? Better. Will you be at the meeting tomorrow? Will is perfect for future events. The key is, always start your yes/no question with one of these special verbs. Now what if you need more than a yes or no? You need information. That's where WH questions come in. These are the questions that start with words like who, what, where, when, why, and how. The structure is simple. WH word, then an auxiliary verb, like be, do, or a modal, then the subject. Let's see it in action. Who is for people. Wrong. Is the new manager? Better. Who is the new manager? What is for things or actions? Wrong. You are eating. Better. What are you eating? Where is for places? Wrong. Is the station? Better. Where is the station? When is for time? Wrong. The movie starts? Better. When does the movie start? Notice we use does because movie is an it and start is an action. Why is for reasons. Wrong. You are sad? Better. Why are you sad? And how is for the way something is done. It can also be combined with other words like how much for price or uncountable nouns, how many for countable nouns, and how long for duration. Wrong. Is this? Better. How much is this? The pattern is consistent. WH word, auxiliary verb, subject. Master this, and you can ask about anything. Sometimes you don't need information, you just want to confirm something you think is true, or encourage someone to agree with you. For this we use tag questions. Many learners use a shortcut like adding right or no to the end of a sentence. It works, but it's not always the most natural way. Wrong. You're from Spain, right? Better. You're from Spain, aren't you? A proper tag question is like a mini question at the end of a statement. The rule is simple. If the statement is positive, the tag is negative. If the statement is negative, the tag is positive. You form the tag with the auxiliary verb from the statement and the subject pronoun. Let's look at that example again. You are from Spain. The statement is positive, the verb is are, so the tag is negative, aren't you? Here's another, better. It isn't open today, is it? The statement it isn't open is negative, so the tag is it is positive. What if there's no auxiliary verb, like in you like pizza? We use a form of do. Wrong, you like pizza. No, better, you like pizza, don't you? Intonation is also key. If your voice goes down at the end, you're just confirming. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? If your voice goes up, it's a real question. You haven't seen my keys, have you? Using proper tags will make you sound much more fluent. Clarity is important, but so is politeness, especially in more formal situations or when asking for a favor. Direct questions can sometimes sound demanding. Okay, what time is it? Better. Excuse me, could you tell me what time it is? This is an indirect question. We soften it with a phrase like, could you tell me? Or, do you know? Notice the word order changes. In the direct question, it's what time is it? In the indirect question, it becomes, what time it is? The verb moves to the end. Let's try another. Okay, where are the history books? Better. I was wondering if you could tell me where the history books are. Using modals like could, would, and might also makes requests more polite. Wrong, for a colleague. Send me the file. Better. Would you be able to send me the file when you have a moment? This is perfect for professional communication. For friends, a simple, can you send me the file, is often fine. Politeness is all about choosing the right tool for the situation. As we just saw, context is everything. The way you ask a question to a friend over text is very different from how you'd ask a question in a business meeting. Let's do some context swaps. First, texting a friend. Before, a bit formal. Are you going to be at the cafe later? After, casual and fast. You gonna be at the cafe later? Here, abbreviations and incomplete sentences are normal. Now, a classroom setting. You want to ask the teacher a question. Before, not a question. I don't get it. After, polite and specific. Could you please explain the last point again? This is respectful and helps the teacher understand what you need. Next, a work meeting. You need clarification. Before, a bit too direct. What do you mean? After, professional and clear. Could you elaborate on the Q3 projections? Using formal vocabulary like elaborate shows professionalism. Finally, a formal email. Before can sound impatient. When can I expect an update? After, indirect and polite. I was hoping you might be able to provide an update on the project timeline. This indirect phrasing is standard in formal written English. Always consider your audience and your goal when you choose how to ask your question. How you say something is just as important as what you say. In English questions, intonation, the rise and fall of your voice, carries a lot of meaning. The two main patterns are simple. For yes-no questions, your voice should rise at the end. This signals that you expect a yes or no answer. Listen, are you ready? Rising. Did you finish? Rising. Can you help? Rising. Now you try. I'll say the question, then leave a pause for you to repeat it with a rising intonation. Great. For WH questions, the pattern is the opposite. Your voice should fall at the end. This signals that you are requesting information. Listen, what is your name? Falling. Where do you live? Falling. Why did you say that? Falling. Your turn. Repeat after me with a falling intonation. How did you do it? Also, don't be afraid of contractions. In spoken English, we almost always say don't instead of do not, isn't instead of is not, and what's instead of what is. Using contractions will make your questions sound more natural and rhythmic. Alright, it's time to put it all together. I'm going to give you a situation and a few keywords. You'll have 5 seconds to form a good question. Let's go. Situation 1. You're at a cafe. Ask your friend if he wants another coffee. Keywords: you want another coffee. A good answer is, do you want another coffee? Situation 2. You're in a new city. Ask a stranger for the location of the nearest bank. Keywords: where, nearest bank. A polite answer is, Excuse me, could you tell me where the nearest bank is? Situation 3. You think your colleague, Maria, has finished the report. Ask to confirm. Keywords, Maria, finish, report. A great tag question is, Maria has finished the report, hasn't she? How did you do? The more you practice, the more automatic this becomes. So, let's recap the key takeaways. 1. Start yes-no questions with an auxiliary verb like be, do, or can. 2. Build WH questions with the formula, WH word, plus auxiliary, plus subject. 3. Use tag questions to confirm information and sound more fluent. And 4. Always adapt your question for politeness and context. Your homework is simple. For the rest of today, pay attention to every question you ask, hear, or read in English. Try to identify the type of question and notice the structure. Even better, try to rephrase 3 questions you hear to make them clearer or more polite. Asking better questions is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. You've taken a huge step today. Keep going, and you'll be asking questions with confidence and clarity in no time.